with us, Paul's with us, and we have John and I are back. What do you think? Yay! An amazing, amazing trip in Costa Rica. So maybe you'll feel a little extra energy coming off of us from all the shamans that prayed over us. Because that's actually what we did. We had shamans praying over us. It was amazing. So hopefully we're more grounded and more divine too. And so this morning we have our beloved Amy Joslin will be our celebrant today. We're so delighted. Thank you, Amy. Let's come into the presence. Let's join with the celestial sound that is the universal sound of Om that joins us with every being and all the universe. And we'll chant Om 3 times. And taking that sweet energy into our hearts as we rise and sing, surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
And as we come into prayer this morning, let us remember the words stated in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Let us remember this truth, even in the midst of plot twist, in the midst of upheaval. Let us know that God is everywhere, present and fully present right here, right now, in and through and as us. That every little thing is going to be all right, and we are going to be okay. And so it is. Amen.
A little reggae this morning. Here's go. not a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Every little thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Let's do it. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. No matter what. God in everything, everywhere. Woo. So we welcome Amy up. Let's welcome Amy. Woo.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Unity on the River on this lovely August 10th day. Today we are celebrating, today's celebration promises to be joyous and insightful. That was thank you, Christian. It is going to be joyful and insightful. We have a lot of really great things going on that will unfold, and we will share this special time of connection and reflection today. But let's first set our intention as a congregation that we are an inclusive spiritual community where we honor all paths to God. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Those are our core values. Let's take those in for a moment. That's who we decided that how we're going to show up. And let us say our mission and our vision statement together. Our mission: we are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision: centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. And our vision for a new spiritual leader. The spiritual leader of Unity on the River is a heart-centered, inspired teacher and mentor who lovingly embodies the highest and most joyful vision for Unity on the River and the world. We know that these visions are already established in Divine Mind. We pray that we, as a congregant, can embody the visions that we have set forth. We must be the vision that we want to see. Now, in Unity, there are 5 universal principles taught by Unity, which offers foundational guidance for living abundantly and staying in tune with your own divine nature. They are used in Unity churches throughout the world. Let's read them together. God is the absolute good, everywhere present. The Christ Spirit is in each of us. We create our life experiences with our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Prayer is our connection to Divine Mind. It is not enough to know the truth, we must live it. So let's welcome the newcomers. Are there any newcomers here today? Oh, awesome! If you haven't already received a welcome packet, oh, you did? Awesome! We are so on top of that today. Well, welcome. Your presence here really enriches our experience, and we're so glad that you're here today. If you could, if you'd like to be on our newsletter to find out what's going on, please fill out the information on that and leave it in your seat, and somebody will come by and pick it up. Thank you so much for being here today. So next, I'm going to welcome up Lynette Culverhouse, who has some important, exciting, oh, I thought I did. Streamers! We love you. We bless you. And we're so glad you're sitting in the air conditioning, drinking your coffee and having your breakfast. Thank you. And now, I will welcome up Lynn Culverhouse with some important and exciting announcements.
Hi, everyone. Namaste. I stand in the presence. So this week, we are excited and blessed once again with our very own licensed Unity teacher, Amy Joslin, who will inspire us with her message, The Power in a Plot Twist.
This sounds like a very intriguing subject. For those of you who may not have been blessed with a message from Amy before, she is a long-standing member and steward of our community. Amy puts her heart and soul into everything that she does with and for Unity on the River. Let's listen closely to her message today, as it will impact each of us differently. Save the date for our annual summer potluck party that will take place August 17th at Dave and Michelle's house. Please RSVP by today. They need to know numbers, at least an estimate of the numbers. You can go to our website and click the RSVP button on the homepage. This will provide a form to fill out and the details you'll need about this exciting opportunity to come together as a community and enjoy food, fun, games, and connection. Next week, on August 17th, we welcome Scott Stringham as our celebrant. Scott always delivers timely and insightful messages to our community. Also very exciting. During next week's service, we will be treated to an all Beatles music service. Get ready to move and shake to one of the most influential bands of our time. We also have a special guest celebrant on August 24th, Reverend John Scott of First Unity Spiritual Campus in St. Pete, Florida. John Scott is an accomplished musician and a consummate communicator who skillfully unveils a mystery through meditation, song, and inspirational message. We are excited to welcome him and his wife, Reverend Carrie, for this special service.
Mm-hmm. Also, John Scott is going to do a short concert after of his own music, of their inspirational music, so right after fellowship, you can join us. It's about an hour long, so it's something to look forward to.
And I'm particularly proud and excited and honored to announce that Jackie Woodside is going to be teaching her core course, her core program to Unity on the River in the fall. Her program, Living in the Domain of Miracles, is a high-level coaching experience for spiritually minded people who are ready to move beyond just getting by and start living with greater clarity, power, and purpose, as well as an increased sense of life satisfaction. This program is not about chasing goals. It's about becoming someone who lives from their essence, which is what we're about, and lets life rise up to meet them. And at this stage in the life of Unity on the River, as we go through some major transitions, let's transcend together, unified, united, to meet the challenge of fulfilling our personal and community dreams. And I have to say, as on a personal note, that I have spent much of my life doing hundreds, literally, of retreats, workshops, classes, courses, spiritual courses, and nothing has shifted things in my life more than Jackie Woodside's program, Life Design and Life Mastery, which she's now put together in one program called Living in the Domain of Miracles, which is what she's going to be giving us in the fall. This is an incredible opportunity for us, and I hope that you will all take advantage of it, because it won't come around too often. We're very grateful to our Board of Trustees for the work and guidance they provide us. Would members of the board please rise so we can recognize you and send you love? And Donna Dia, one of our congregants here at Unity, asked for healing prayers and for us to send love and light. Donna Dia had a moderate stroke this past week and is home recovering and getting well. So let's do this together. Repeat after me. We see you. We love you. you are whole, healed, and healthy. And so it is. The final announcement for today, there will be a question and answer for our community immediately following service for around the church property possibility in Merrimackport. So please stay for that. It's important that we hear from everyone in the community. We get everyone's input, and this is such a major transition, potential transition, that we need to get as many people's input and thoughts about it, feelings about it out there, and let's do it in a unified and loving way. So now it's time for our namaste. This is a sacred time where we greet each other with a hand or a hug or a handshake or a greeting that is comfortable for you.
I love how we love to love. It's what we're here for. I want to thank Amy for bringing this beautiful little song to for me to present. It's called You're Gonna Be Okay. And you know, in this time, sometimes it's hard to remember that. So let's all take this in. It's a very special message for us right now with all the swirling energies and changes we're going through on every level on the planet. We just hold our ground and remember God is source. God is now. God is me here. So take a breath with me. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Oh, the sun will keep on rising in that old familiar way. And you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right, darling. You're gonna be alright. 'Cause those stars, they'll keep on shining through the darkest night. And you know you're gonna be alright. Lift your eyes to the hills, remember where your help comes from. Lift your eyes to the hills, and you'll never face the valley alone. 'Cause even when your heart is breaking and you're gone and lost your way, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. I know that you're gonna be okay. There's not a care in this whole world that can take that truth away. 'Cause you're gonna be okay. Oh, we're all gonna be all right. Oh, yes, we're gonna be all right. 'Cause at the end of all our breath, when we're beckoned on to the light, love will meet us there. We're gonna be all right. At the end of all our breath, it's the beginning of new life, and we're all gonna be all right.
Wow. Thank you, Meg. Anyone else need a moment? That was gorgeous. It was so in your heart. And I hope that we could all take those words in this morning, right? Just unbelievable. So, how many of you, and you don't have to admit this if you don't want to, but how many of you maybe like binge watch Hallmark movies? Does anyone binge watch Hallmark movies? Okay. What happens 3/4 of the way through a Hallmark movie? There's a plot twist. So for any of you that aren't familiar with them, if you haven't watched them like one after another on a snowy winter day, essentially in a Hallmark movie, they're pretty predictable. They're like a predictable plot twist. So what happens is that girl with the high-paying executive job goes to visit her family on the tree farm, where she meets the very adorable, very handsome tree farmer, and they fall in love. But 3/4 of the way through the movie, somebody comes from her old life and says, "Why aren't you doing your job in the city?" And she has to choose between the tree farmer and her high-paying executive job. And here's what's awesome about that, is that in the end, love always wins. Love always wins. So We're in the experience of plot twists, right? So a plot twist is a sudden and unexpected change in the direction or the outcome of a story. Plot twists are precipices, often defining moments in our soul's ever-unfolding story. In the Greek language, there are two words for time. One is chronos, and that's, a calendar or a tick, 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 tick of a clock. And the other is kairos. And kairos is pregnant time. It's that time of possibility. It's the moments and the days of our lives and the month and the year and our lifetime that shape us. There are crossroads. It's a ripe opportunity to be either bitter or better. And it's a teachable moment. It is that right and opportune moment. They're really neutral and always leave an impact on us. And that's what a plot twist is. So I want to talk about some famous plot twists. My favorite story in the Bible, my favorite character in the Bible, I know that Shipley isn't Moses, but my favorite character in the Bible is Joseph, and not Mary's Joseph. Joseph with the musical, Joseph, the son of Jacob. So this reads better than any General Hospital script, right? I think that's where they get the plot ideas for General Hospital. So, first, the father is tricked into marrying Leah when he's really in love with Rachel. And eventually he marries her too, and they have Joseph. And now, anyone grow up in a large family? My family put the fun in dysfunctional, but get this one. So Joseph, is kind of has favoritism towards Jacob because he's Rachel's son. And he buys him a fancy coat, a Technicolor coat. He buys him this fancy coat. And that kind of annoys the other brothers. Anyone grow up in a large family? That would have gone over really well in my family too, right? So it annoys the brothers, they're jealous, and Joseph tells his brothers about his dreams, and they plot to kill him. And then the older brother convinces them not to kill them, but they sell him into slavery instead. But there, he finds favor with Potiphar, the person who enslaved him, and he makes Joseph the overseer of his house. That is, until his wife makes a move on him. Right. So and Potiphar takes her word for it, and Joseph ends up in prison. But the story's not over there. And then Joseph is in prison, and he's interpreting dreams, and the words get out. And the Pharaoh finds out about it, and he interprets the Pharaoh's dream about an upcoming famine. And ultimately, he saves his brothers. Another famous plot twist is, Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper for not having any original ideas. Oprah Winfrey was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. The Beatles were rejected by Decca Records because they didn't like their sound and they had no future in the music business. I guess they called that one wrong. And then we have Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, who was very sickly and wasn't doing well. And she went to hear a New Thought speaker by the name of E.B. Weeks, and she heard the idea that she was a beloved child of God and therefore did not inherit illness. And it resonated with her, and she took it home. And she was able to heal herself. It took her 2 years. It wasn't an overnight thing. But we're all here today because of a plot twist that happened in Myrtle Fillmore's life. So the power in a plot twist is in all of us. It's in each of us. So why? Why, when I speak, I always like to give an idea of what I'm talking about, why and how, some of the ways that we can work it, right? So why do you think I might wanted to talk about plot twists today? Right. We're going through a few plot twists here at Unity on the River. We had a great date with senior minister candidate John McLean, And shortly after his visit, he withdrew his intention. And that is something that we were not expecting to happen. I, by the way, do not see that as a failure. I see that as part of the process. And we still get to have our feels about that, right? Then, after making the decision to put our building search on hold until we hire a senior minister, a building shows up that sparks some interest in some of us. And we get to have all our feels around that also. You know, I think it's healthy to acknowledge our feelings that come up, you know, sadness, anger, rejection, fear, relief, excitement. And in a quote that's associated with Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning. Thank you, Michelle. I didn't think I'd forget that. Okay, so between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Let me repeat that. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response, and in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So when we're in the midst of a plot twist, that's where we can really see the pendulum swing of how we're using our 12 powers. You know, in Unity, there are 4 levels of consciousness. There's victim consciousness, there's victor consciousness, there's vessel consciousness, and verity consciousness. And when we're in the midst of a plot twist, we often go back to our embedded theology, into the lower realms of consciousness. But see, the pendulum slip of where we are in consciousness is how we're going to use our 12 powers. So like faith, for instance, is going to look different when you're in victim consciousness than when you're in verity consciousness and really aware of your own divine nature. Do you get that? It's going to look differently. You know, Mary Manning Morrissey, New Thought speaker, would always say that our power of imagination is really powerful. We can either use our imagination to either terrorize ourselves or to set ourselves free. And we can use our power of will to be like a bulldozer and try to push our point of view, or we can be open to how others might feel or might be affected by circumstances and situations. See, when we experience a plot twist, our awareness is key to how we navigate them. Ralph Waldo Emerson, leader of the Transcendentalist movement and influencer of the Fillmores, said that what lies behind us, what lies before us, are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. See, a plot twist is going to require something new from us. You know, every plot twist is an invitation to become more. It's the invitation to become the author of our own narrative. Life's turns may be unpredictable, but your response is always within your power. And that is the power in the plot twist. The power in a plot twist is in us. So how? Right? Charles Darwin said that it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can manage change. So we get to look at how we're managing change, you know. I have an older CD that I'll put in occasionally from Michael Beckwith from Agape, the spiritual leader of Agape, and he says, accept what is and forgive the rest. You know, acceptance doesn't mean, so we find a place of acceptance, and acceptance doesn't mean that we have to like it, love it, or stay in it. It's just an acknowledgement that can help us move beyond it, right? Resistance to what is or what just occurred can leave us stuck, and then it keeps us looking at the closed door instead of the open window of possibility. And we can practice the power of halt, and I've talked about this before, but I love to have things that are simple and easy to call on when we need to. And HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And the whole idea of that is that if you're feeling any of those things, you halt. You stop for a minute and you pause until you get something to eat. Take a walk around the block maybe. Stay off the phone. And just take a few minutes to pause and to breathe. We can ask ourselves, what do I need to know about the situation? And what do I need to know? And we can then ask ourselves, how do I need to grow in this situation? How do I need to grow in this situation? Our fourth unity principle is that prayer is, is it up? So prayer is the most accelerated mind action known to man, as Charles Fillmore would say. So it's our call to prayer is one of our guiding principles, right? And think of them in order, right? So God is, I am, I created, I pray it. Sometimes we need to pray based on what we've already created, right? Or sometimes before we create something, we need to pray so that we can then turn the fifth unit principle and live it. Our gratitude practices can really ground us and anchor us in the present moment. And they can serve as a reminder of how much we already have and how much that we've already transcended. And that is a great grounding practice. Look around you and think of 5 things that you're grateful for. You can do that now. I look around and I see Meg, and I see the different Steve and the band members that create such a beautiful container for us every week. I think of how grateful I am that we have a space to gather. I look out at all of you, and I think of how much we have loved and supported each other through the years. So gratitude practices. Sometimes you have to be grateful in advance, right? Or think about that. I'm grateful that I have the health to be able to stand up here today. Have an excellent playlist. Have an excellent playlist. It really does. All the songs that we're singing today are on my playlist. For when I'm in the midst of a plot twist, I'll put on Three Little Birds. I'll put on Lauren Daigle's I'm Gonna Be Okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And today we're gonna be singing Look for the Good in Everything. And that's the thing, because if God is the everywhere presentness, the absolute good everywhere present, then it has to be present in every circumstance and situation, right? We just need to look for it. Sometimes we have to wipe our glasses off and clean them, so we can see that. See, here's what I know about Unity on the River, that everything little thing is gonna be all right. That we have grown through every plot twist up until now. How do I know this? Look around you. In the midst of minister leaving, selling our building, a major epidemic, and all of that, we're still here, right? We're Unity on the River. We're going to get through any change that happens, any plot twist that comes our way, any upheaval, all of that. We have the power within us to navigate that. We're going to be more than okay. So I'm going to leave you with a story from Timber Hawkeye. He is the author of Buddhist Boot Camp. He says, yeah, plot twist. And he says, this happened today. One moment changed everything. Like whatever I thought the next few weeks, days, months were going to look like, gone in an instant. It's a plot twist. I have no idea where the story goes from here, and I actually never did. It's all an illusion. Anything can change in any moment. And I won't go into detail about my situation because you have your own, I'm sure. We're all in this together. So when things don't go according to plan, just yell out, plot twist! And stay curious about what's ahead. What's done is done. Don't look back. You're not going that way. And that is the power in a plot twist. Thank you.
So now is the time when we take everything off our laps and come into the presence. Holly's going to bring us in with a beautiful, beautiful chant.
From the earth to the sun, we are one, we are one. Like the stars in the night, we are light, we are light. As the wind among the sea, we are free, we are free. From below and above, we are the servants of love. From the earth to the sun, we are one, we are one. Like the stars in the night, we are light, we are light. Like the wind among the sea, we are free, we are free. From below and above, we are the servants of love.
So I invite you now to just gently maybe lower your gaze. I always like to wiggle my toes, put my hand on my heart, just to bring us into this sacred and holy moment. Bring us into meditation with a quote from Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters. You are eternally one with your source and creator. So it's just a matter of getting still, peaceful, calm, and serene with your thought away from all, while from the outer activities and opening to the way for the mighty and abundant flow of spirit that vitalizes, invigorates, builds up, and renews every place in mind, heart, soul, and body. Let's take that in for a moment. And I ask you to invoke that spiritual power of love that exists in all of us. And I invite you to send any love to any part of your body that might need some healing. seeing that power of love infused in every cell and organ and tissue of your being. Remembering that God is the absolute good everywhere present. We know that it is fully present right here, right now, in and through and as us. That it is us. We are one with God, we are one with one another. For there is no spot that God is not. So all the love, all the wisdom that we need is right here, right now, in this very space, in this very room. We use our power of imagination and our power of faith to remember the truth of who we are. We use our power of release to release any old stories, any old ideas, any opinions that aren't aligned with the truth of our divine nature and the divine nature of each and every one of us. We use our power of zeal to fairly sizzle with joy and enthusiasm to do the mighty work that is meant for us to do. We use our power of strength to stand steadfast in the midst of plot twists. And we call to mind our brothers and sisters that might be having any type of challenges right now. We hold Donna Dear in light and love, knowing that her wholeness is healing her now. We hold the community of Unity of the Seacoast, who is celebrating the life of Tom Shaner today. Let me give thanks for this time in the silence to remember the truth of who we are and whose we are. For we are one. We are one with God. We are one with each other. We are one with this earth and with infinity. And so it is. And then when you're ready, you can come back into this time and space. Wiggle your toes again. Stretch if you need to. And Holly will remind us of the truth.
From the earth to the sun, we are one, we are one. Like the stars in the night, We are light, we are light, as the wind upon the sea. We are free, from below and above. We are the servants of love. Earth to the sun, we are one, like the stars in the night. We are light, as the wind among the sea. We are free, from below and above. We are the servants of love. From the earth to the sun, we are one, like the stars in the night. We are light, like the wind upon the sea. We are free, from below and above. We are the servants of love. From below and above, we are the servants of love.
That was such a treat. How beautiful. Well, now is the time in our service when we give from our hearts. We celebrate our prosperity. We know we are abundant and that our abundance flows from source. We don't need money. Money needs us. That's right. So let's say the blessings of the tithes and offerings. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Alrighty, well, let's send some love and appreciation for these offerings. You know, the law of mind action says that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So what we appreciate appreciates. So we know that these tithes and offerings are appreciated. We send them love. We see them doing the work of Holy Spirit. We see them doing the work to keep our center running, to expand our message to this community. And we give thanks in advance for the work that's already done, and so it is.
So it is.
No children, so Sherry will say a blessing.
For our children and all the children of the world, we see you as light. In everything you do, you shine through the world. Whether you're in this community or in another community, we are all one community. And we see you walking as the light, blessing everything you do, everyone and everything you do. Amen, 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 amen.
All right, so you ready for some fun music?
I'm a little suspect of this song, Meg.
You're suspecting it?
It's written by someone with an M and an R next to each other in their last name. It looks like Mr. Arizona, M-R-A-Z. Anyone?
Jason Moritz.
How do you get the never mind.
Look for the good in everyone. This came through Christian and Amy, both asked for this song, so here we go.
Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People done forgot the superpowers we all have. We were born to love, not hate. We can decide our fate. And look for the good in everyone and celebrate all our mistakes. There's a silver lining. You just still have to find it, find it, find it. Oh, look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone needs sunshine. Everyone needs rain. Everyone is carrying around some kind of pain. I see who you are. You're just like me. I see you searching for a purpose, guided by a dream. I see who you are. Oh, I'm just like you. I get lost sometimes and I forget what I came here to do. I just keep on trying. Oh, and it gets frightening. Oh, oh, oh. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone. Take it away. Everyone is nature. Everyone is God. Everyone is love and light and vibration. Look for the good. Look for the good. Everyone gets mad sometimes, and maybe they should. Look for the good. Look for the good. Yeah, look out for all the heroes in your neighborhood. Look for the good. Look for the good. Life sure would be sweeter if everybody would. Oh, look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone, all together. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone.
Oh, we want to thank everybody that was a part of this service. It takes a whole community, all of us, our ushers and greeters. Let's give a big hand to the sound people in the band and to Amy. Thank you, thank you. Everyone that's helped. Oh, and Jack Santos is back on PowerPoint. Say hi to Jack. Yay, thank you, Jack. Woo-hoo. And all the people in fellowship, please join us for fellowship after the Q&A.
But first,
But first,
stand and
we're going to stand and hold hands,
Are we
as
doing it?
we've done for 1,000 years.
More than one of us here. We can't remember what we're supposed to do. We remind each other.
There be peace on earth, let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
So today, when something happens in our life, we yell, plot twist! And we remember the truth of who we are and the truth of each other. And so it is.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed.
Oh, don't worry
Yeah.
about a thing. 'Cause every little thing's gonna be alright.
Yes, it is.
Don't worry about a thing. woke up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds perched on my doorstep, singing sweet songs with melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Oh, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright.
Every little thing.
'Cause every little thing's gonna be alright.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Every little thing's gonna be alright.
And so it is.
So it is. Is the Q&A right now? Yes. Okay, sit down. Let's sit down and listen.
She takes the book.
That's cute. Renee.
Before we get started, I just have a quick question. So before we get started, I have a quick question. I was cleaning out my car and I found this book underneath the seat. I'm pretty sure it belongs to someone in this community, but I don't know who. It's A World's Religions, so if anybody, if it looks familiar, or if any of the streamers, if this looks familiar, let me know. Okay, I could do that. Okay. So, as you know, we have an opportunity to purchase some property, a new church in Merrimack. So I want to tell you a little bit about it and then take your questions and answer whatever questions. And if you have questions that we don't know the answers to, it's still good you ask the question, because now then we know what we need to get answers to. Because we don't have all the answers yet. So that's what the church looks like. It's a nice church. It's in good shape. Do we have my? Okay. We'll get the next slide in a moment. This was a Methodist church. It was built in 1876. It's been updated since. I'll go through some of the updates. Like I said, in general, it's in pretty good shape. The original building burnt down in 1916. It was rebuilt. struck by lightning apparently. So it was rebuilt. It was expanded in 2019. It is handicapped accessible. It has restrooms, it has an office for a minister, it has storage on both levels, lots of closets. There's a big area we can have hospitality. There's an elevator, and there's a small area we could have a bookstore as well.
Built in 2018 or whatever it was to accommodate an elevator, so to make it more handicap accessible for people. So they actually had to build on the whole front of the church to just get that elevator in. It was quite a project.
And we would get the benefit of that, so that's nice.
And the classrooms were built, I think, in the 1950s. That church was a daycare center, too. They used to operate daycare out of there, too. It became the Little Red Schoolhouse in Merrimack after. So it was a daycare. It was used for daycare. People used to bring their children there.
Okay, so next slide. So this is what it looks like inside. This is the sanctuary. You can comfortably fit about 6 people in each pew. There's 2 rows, so you can get about 120 people in there comfortably. You can see up front, there's an area for a band and a speaker. We'll probably take the thing that's there right now and remove that and put a little podium up front. So the band would probably go back where that's at right now. There's room on the side for choir. So we've had, Brian look at it, Meg's looked at it. It looks like it will accommodate the band, and they won't have to do this they won't have to break down every day. So that would be, that's a big deal for them. Next slide.
There's also, we could get additional 20 people to the left. The door's all open, so we could have, because when they had weddings and funerals, sometimes they had to accommodate more people. They could fit another 20 people to that side.
Yeah. So this is some of the property information. And I'll read it. I know it's kind of small. Actually, it was smaller. I made it bigger. All right. So the total area is 4,675 square feet. That's the key thing here, that it has wood side shingles. That's what it's made out of. Oil heat. We don't know how much that costs per year yet. We're trying to get that information.
We're gonna have that. I was actually met with the treasurer this morning. We're gonna have that information this week. There is nothing like outstanding, he told me. Like the heat is a basic heat bill. It wasn't like over the electricity wasn't over. The insurance I couldn't get because the Methodist Church pays the insurance for them. They weren't paying their insurance, so he never saw that bill. And the elevator cost is the other cost.
And we have that. So we can have the next slide. So what we do know, the water was about $400, so that's pretty reasonable a year. As far as what's been done, we looked at the building permits. They enlarged the front entry in 2001. 2002, they did some foundation repairs. 2006, they put up a lighted sign. 2011, they replaced some of the shingles, and in 2015, they redid the whole roof, including stripping off the old roof. So the roof is 10 years old. That's a pretty good. They usually last longer than that, so that's pretty good. And the good news is that because they stripped off the old roof, when we have to put a new roof on it, we can put it over the existing roof. We don't have to strip that off. That makes it less expensive. The next slide. As I mentioned, this is handicap accessible. So there is a lift that was installed, and that goes, so when you go in, there's a couple steps up to the sanctuary, so you can take a lift to do that, and there's a stair going downstairs to the hospitality area. You can take the lift down to there. I'll actually show a picture of that. You can get in. There's stairs, but there's also a ramp around the side.
There's a ramp.
Yeah. So it is handicap accessible.
We should probably, when we're talking about the handicap part in the front, there's, if you look at the church, on the right side, there's a little small tree. If you remove that tree, we could put 2 pull-in parking spaces pretty easily. And then whether the minister or someone else wants to use the one to the right, you could put that one there too. So we could actually put 3 parking spaces right in the front. I know how they've handled it over the last, they used to go there in horse and buggy. Now they started going there in cars after the 1920s. They've always put cones in the front. They put to hold 3 parking spaces in front with cones. That's how they've always done it, just so you know.
Okay. Okay, next slide.
Actually, you can see it on that slide right there.
Yeah, so that...
Can you go back one slide?
Yeah.
See the red there? That's the zone area that you could actually put parking head in right there if you wanted to. You could just move it right so that you could be pulling straight in.
Okay, and just to the left of that, you can see the walkway that goes directly to the door without steps. To the right, that driveway is actually a driveway to the house in back. So that's not property that we could use. We have to keep that clear. To the right side of the building, there is one small parking space that we could use for minister parking or something like that. Next slide. This is where it's located. It's on River Road and High Street. You can see Broad Street there. That goes to 495. I'll show you that in a minute, but it's about, 2 minutes off the highway, so it's pretty accessible.
On the end of Broad Street, there's also a parking lot that I think Meg and I kind of counted. Meg has little feet, so I'm not sure how that works. But we caught, I think 40 cars could fit there. I thought it was a little bit more, but it was 40. They've used that for weddings. They've used it for funerals. The treasurer was telling me that his own daughter got married there, and they used it. The town, he said, has never denied them use of it. They've even mowed it for them. And they've said, when they've had an event, they said, oh, we'll mow it, because the town owns it. And the church has talked in the past about buying it, because there was a church there years ago. They knocked it down in the 1920s. Okay, and it's a nice little walk to. It's within walking. Yep. Yeah, Meg walked it. We walked it. Other people have walked it. On Broad Street, so it would be right here.
So there's a mic right there.
Okay, it's just the parking. Can you hear me? Yeah. The parking is a tiny bit further than that parking lot down there, down the street, Kent Street parking. I walked it. I've got 2 hip replacements. It took me 2 minutes. It's not far from the church, and that's a flat walk. And all the way along that walk from what's the name of the street that it's on the corner of? Broad Street.
Broad and High.
Broad and High Street. That whole walk along the street is flat. Everybody's concerned about the turn off from High Street where the church is on the corner of. But we wouldn't have to park up the hill. We could park all the way along and around in front of the church, right on the river. And there was no problem. I mean, I can understand there's a concern, but we can't park here if there's a parking ban. So, just my thought.
They don't have a parking ban. We have a parking ban here. They do park on both sides of River Road, too, I found out this morning during events, if they need to. The other thing that I think is really important to know, because there's been some rumors about this, is that there are no restrictions on parking on that deed at all. Like, there's no, we can use it whenever we want and all that. That is all in the deed. But just so the congregation knows, we wouldn't purchase it if there was a restriction that we didn't like. So, and that's the only person in the world, and I've been involved in projects before, assisted livings and hospital additions and all that. The only thing that you could really definitely know about would be a real estate lawyer. So we would have a real estate lawyer look at that deed. That's what you're paying them for. And they would be telling us, they'd be saying, Brad, Michael, just so you know that this is in there. You can't do this. And then we would know. There's nothing in there now, just so you know that. As far as neighbors, I've talked to the neighbors, the person behind, around. Matter of fact, the listing agent, who we don't really supposed to be dealing with yet, lives in that neighborhood herself. So she has a pretty good clue of what's going on there.
Okay.
So just so you know about there's no restrictions. Maybe it's a good time to mention it, but all the types of events that went on with the parking, the Merrimack had AA meetings there for several years. They had the Boy Scouts in Merrimack use that facility. It was a daycare center at one time for a lot of the kids in Merrimack. They used it, and the families all parked along that same area. They have a strawberry festival every year, which they utilize the parking down the street on Broad Street for. There were a couple other events. I forget. I had them listed.
Dinners. They had some dinners.
Oh, they have a lot of dinners. I've been to dinners there myself. I've been to like 3 dinners there myself. What else did they do? They did. They had weddings. I think one of the things that's kind of been an issue is the congregation got so small after COVID that they haven't had a lot of things lately. You know what I mean? So they haven't had a lot of weddings and funerals there lately. But they always did. I mean, it's been a church since 1876.
Yeah, and so there have been one person that used to go there from our congregation said that there were some people that didn't like the parking because you're walking down a hill or whatever. So there's some people, like anything, there's some people that like it, some people that don't. If you're wondering about it, just go ahead and go there and take a look at it. We're trying to get a time when everyone can go and take a look at it. Maybe in 2 weeks. We're still trying to work on that.
Yeah.
If we can do that, then everyone can go there. We can park. We can take a look at it, and just do a dry run and see how it works.
I just want to say,
Yeah.
That I took a walk through, and I just had this lovely feeling. And it's got a sound room where we would have extra, with the streaming sound, which is always a problem because it's a 15-second delay, would have its own sound on the side in a separate room so they could hear what they were doing, and we could have a good streaming sound. The acoustics were wonderful, full, and the energy of the church was lovely, I just have to say, and it felt good. The kitchen's big, the fellowship area's big, the classrooms are big. So I'm going to put my 2 cents in. I loved it. And when I parked along the side, I didn't feel like I was in danger. There were 5 cars in the over an hour we were there that went down that street, and except for when we were inside and I didn't see, there's no traffic. It's not a busy road. So I think we're more safe than we're worried about, but that will all come out as you look at yourself. I'm just giving my 2 cents.
There will be an inspection. There
Yes,
has been,
absolutely.
Not yet, but there will be an inspection.
So we'll
Before
know
we do
about
it, yeah.
insulation, wiring, the roof. We'll know everything. I mean, that's part of the purchase process. I think everybody needs to know, and I've even had a difficult time expressing this with the board itself, is that, in my opinion, this is a 2-layered process. Layer 1 is the concept that we're going to have a new home. Are we ready for a new home? Do we want to lug, music equipment back and forth? Do we want a place to go on Wednesdays? Do you want a place that feels good? Do you want a place that is your home, that's a beautiful place, that, somehow is sort of affordable? And we have not done a deep financial dive yet. Mm-hmm. That's part of the thing I'm going to mention. But that's layer 1. We got to decide that. We need to decide, how do you feel when you're there? Does it feel like home? Is it a good feeling? I wouldn't concentrate on parking and all that yet. Then at that point, we decide as a congregation, yes, we like this, we want this, or we don't. I mean, I don't know. People are free to vote any way they want. But after we get to that point, then the second layer are all the didactic things, like getting through, making sure that we're getting a good value, making sure that we can afford it financially, making sure it doesn't need a lot of additional work, making sure that there's something in the deed we don't know about, all those kinds of things. So that's like the second, but I think a lot of people are jumping to that second tier right away. I need to stress this, it's not for sale yet. It's not even listed. It's not for sale. They can't sell it yet because the deeds aren't all put together. They're really scrambling. The listing agent of that church has had a difficult time because they had to go to the board themselves of the Methodist Church. They interviewed like 6 people to be the listing agent, and they picked someone from Merrimack that knew what they were doing, that lived on the street. And they have a lot. So the listing agent doesn't want to be contacted by anybody. The person in town hall does not want to be. He only wants to talk to a lawyer. He doesn't want congregants calling him, asking him questions about the deed. He doesn't want different people from the church calling. And I'm just keep trying to express that to people, and they have a hard time understanding that, because we will get to the point where we could do all that. A week from Sunday, we could have an open house. I have it tentatively scheduled possibly for 12 to 1. I know, Lynette, you had called once, right? So at 12
but actually,
to
let
1.
me just interject. We may do that a little bit later, try and move
Right.
that back so we can have a concert, because the person who's going to be here will have a concert. So we may try and move that back.
Yeah, but we're not doing it next week. It'd be 2 weeks.
It'd be 2 weeks.
It'd be 2 weeks, not next week.
Yeah, the 24th. Yeah.
I just want to turn this on. Hello. I just wanted to make one comment about walking to that church.
Mm-hmm.
There are no sidewalks. And I know there's not a lot of traffic, But I think that was a concern to me when I drove by. It also needs a paint job, but I know that's not a huge deal.
Can I say that there are sidewalks? There's a sidewalk on the whole other side of the street, all the way, the walk that Meg and I took, there was sidewalk the entire way. Across the street, there's a sidewalk
Okay,
on the river.
I missed it then.
So I would say half of the parking has sidewalks. Actually, more than half if you count where you would park across. So I'd say about
So
60.
if you look at the map up there,
Yeah, about 60% of the walking would be sidewalks, just so you know.
if you're going up High Street, there's no sidewalks there, and there's a hill. So that would be trickier. If you're parking, if you're going along River Road, I believe there's more sidewalks there. But it's also busier.
All right. Could I ask a question?
Can I actually, well, I guess so, yeah. I have more to present, but
Okay.
why don't I present some more, and then we'll see,
all right.
because I may answer some of the questions.
Okay.
Okay, so one more thing I want to say about the neighbors. There was some reports that a couple of the neighbors were cranky and would complain about parking if we didn't park correctly. I think but I've heard that about here too. Some people are asking that we don't park around here because we take up their parking space. So, yeah. So that's we do have that. If we go to the, let's see if I can
There are no
do
houses
this.
there as close as this church. I mean, the neighbors are much closer here.
Okay, so that shows the plot. You can see there's not very much land around it. So we own the building, but there's not much land. There's not a lot we can do. And it is overgrown right now, so we will need gardeners to help us clear that out. We've had a couple people express that interest in doing that already. This shows, let's see, right here, and that's Broad Street right there on 495, so you can see that it's just off the highway. And to go out a little bit more, you can see Newburyport there, and 95 there, and 495 there. So that's where it's located. So it's pretty easy to get to by highway. It does not have air conditioning. And we've had some estimates of 10 to 15,000 to put air conditioning in. We would take a closer look at that. The nice thing is that if we buy it for the price it's listed at, we will have enough money in the building fund to add air conditioning, if we choose to do that.
We could put the splitters that they have now, those white, we can put.
Yeah.
We've got some questions online. Let me know what a good time is in the microphone.
Okay. Here's the assessment information. So the land value is $428,000. Building value $737,000. So it's worth 1.165 and almost 1.2 million. And the asking price is $599. So we're getting it for half price. If we get it at that price. So the asking price. So that's one of the reasons why there's been such a rush around this. And, because it's at that price, a lot of people could be interested in. They could, tear it down and build up a house or turn it into condos or something like that. So there's been a rush, and I apologize that the process has been chaotic and confusing. It's been chaotic and confusing for all of us, and I apologize for that. We're trying to get that back on track. So we had put out something that we were going to try and have a vote next week. We're not going to be ready to do that next week. So we're not going to have a vote on this next week.
Can I just add one quick thing?
Sure.
I did research on like 8 properties within there just to find out the values. And we've cut it down to 4. The range in prices of homes in that area, on that street, within walking distance of that, range from the cheapest that has been sold in the last 5 years with, I think, $799 and up to about $1.6 million. So, that's the value of the neighborhood is, just so you know. I think that's good information in case we ever explode to 300 members and we need to sell it. I think that's important to know that.
Yeah, so that is one good thing about it is when we go to sell at some point in the future, we can sell it for a lot more than we bought it for. And that's most of what I wanted to say, so we can do questions. So, okay, so Amy had a question.
Okay. I actually have
Oh, you
a
have a
bunch of
mic.
questions. But first of all, how do we know how old the heating system is?
The heating system is old.
Okay. And I know that it said on the thing that we didn't have access to the electric or the oil bill. Can we get those?
Yeah.
Especially from last year, because last year was an icy, cold winter, and I'd really like to see that.
You may not have heard what I said, but we're getting that
Right.
email to me, and the heating will be part of the inspection, obviously.
Right. Well, that's a huge for me, that's a huge deciding factor.
Right.
That's huge because in the parking, right? I know that road is kind of narrow, and when you add another foot of a snowbank on either side, how much fun is that going to be to walk on? So just an idea, and I know that, and I get it. Like I miss Macy Street. Oh, I grieve that building badly. Okay. And I know like the pros of not having to do church in a box anymore, and having a space to have classes and workshops. I want that too. But I remember being on the social justice team, and we talked about like having a community refrigerator at one point. Like I look at all the different things that we say that we want, and I think we got to be clear on what we want and ask whether or not this building provides that. But I would definitely want to see the utility bills sooner than later, because we need to know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the difference. Because what I would like to see is the pros and the cons, right? So we don't have air conditioning here, but our rent's real cheap, comparatively. You know, we don't have, a parking lot here, but there's one on flat space with sidewalks right down the street. So I think it's really important to look at the pros and cons, and I would love to see something in black and white that shows the pros and cons. Because we can talk about this space doesn't have it either, but shouldn't we want to upgrade? Like if we're going to step into our next highest expression, shouldn't it be an upgrade? And to really ask whether or not this place is really giving us that upgrade.
So, and one of the things to think about with the parking is that a lot of these churches are older than cars. So a lot of the churches around here don't have parking places. And that's just part of being in New England. I mean, if we were on the West Coast, if we were in Indiana, they all have parking spaces, but not here. Sahava, you have something?
Hi.
And I also want to reiterate, this is a process. We don't have all the answers. But, if we don't have them, it's good to know what we need, like, Amy was saying.
Just a quick comment on what Amy said. If you put in mini splits for air conditioning, that's also heating. So it would replace the oil.
Right, right. Actually, after running a lot of big buildings and facilities, like in the medical world, Bill, the older boilers are better. The ones that are in there actually last forever. The ones you buy now are built to last 10, 15 years. So it's the one that's in there is pretty indestructible, to be honest with you.
So it's hot water then instead of hot air?
Hot air, yeah.
So it doesn't have a boiler?
I believe it's 4. We have to go back to the slide, but.
Does it have radiators?
I saw radiators, but. Yeah, I saw radiators.
So we don't know.
That'll be part of the investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it on here.
The home inspection of a building, if you get a home inspection of your house, it's like it used to be $400, now they're about $700, $800. But when you inspect a building, it's like $2,000, $2,500. They do quite an inspection. It's a whole different level.
And it will include mold and things like that. Now we have some online questions. Can we get a microphone to Mark? And thank you, streamers, for joining us. We appreciate it.
One person has experience in that neighborhood going to the Methodist, and they point out that the neighborhood is used to a quiet Sunday service, organ and soft singing. Question is, our band and singers make considerably louder volume than the neighbors. Will they object to it?
You talk to the person, the closest person.
Yeah, actually the houses are, compared to almost any church in like Newburyport or something, the houses are way farther away where we are. I've talked to everyone who surrounds the house. They're very excited that a church is going in there. They are really excited because they've seen this church that's been hardly used for the last 5 years. So, and don't forget, when you buy a house next to a church, you know what you're buying. It's like buying a home across from a cemetery and saying, well, I don't want funerals there anymore. I don't need to be buried there. I mean, you have to know what you're doing. The people behind it, I ironically knew him from, he went to Pentucket High School. He's like a 40-year-old guy with a young family. He was excited about it. He goes, I love music. He said it's not an issue at all. That's what he told me.
Any other online questions?
Sorry, there's a lot of side chat. I'm trying to get back to
Okay.
it.
Okay. Let's do the microphone. Grab the microphone so that our streamers.
Does that steeple come with a bell?
Yes. And there's a rope inside. You can pull the rope. We didn't do that, so we didn't test it, but I'm assuming the inspector will let us know if it works. I'm sure that'll be part of the inspection is ding, ding. And there are loudspeakers out there as well, so if we wanted to do an electronic bell or whatever. Yeah, music, reggae music, yeah.
We'll go look at it and get inside it, because the energy inside is the most quaint, loving, wholesome. It just feels good in there. And if we can get through this, how we're going to get people safely into it, and people feel good about that, if we have a shuttle or if people, whatever, all of those questions we can answer, but you need to see it and get in it.
Yeah, so one thing about having a property, we're going to need, it's almost certainly going to cost more money than what we're spending here. And there's going to be more volunteer needed. So we're going to have to increase the amount of time, treasure, and talent that the community puts into the building. And that's going to be part of the decision too. So saying yes to the building is saying yes to increasing your time, treasure, and talent. So just keep that in mind too. And it can be gardening, it can be running a shuttle, it can be shoveling the snow in the wintertime. There's a lot of ways to contribute. Cleaning, we're going to need people to come in and clean it. So all those things, we're going to need people to help support that. And I, for one, can't make a decision until I see all the financials and make sure that it works financially. On the board, we're very aware that we have to make sure it works financially. If we buy the church and we can have the church, but it sucks up all our money, so we don't have money for music anymore, is that really what we want? Right? I mean, we're going to make sure that we don't get into that kind of conundrum. So we're going to get all the information and plan ahead. So we're on that journey to do that, make those decisions.
There's a comment that it's not true about the parking. Many churches, almost all, have parking lots. And Amy had a very good point about the snowbanks. That's a very dangerous area. Regarding neighbors, of course they will. We would need to speak to the neighbors before deciding whether they would be affected by the louder sound, the louder music.
It's been a church. I mean,
Can we get a microphone over? We want to make sure the streamers can hear us.
Okay. We live in New England, so we're used to snow. And the great thing about streaming today is if you're not feeling safe, you stay home and you watch it for those few times that happens. And it's not that often anymore. We are in a global warming cycle, and how many times how many snowstorms did we have the last couple of years? Not many.
Not as many, yeah.
No.
No, but we did have like horrendous ice last year.
So then, for those people, if they don't feel safe that week, you stay home and you stream. But that shouldn't be a reason why we wouldn't want it.
Microphone over there, yeah. These are all great questions, by the way, so, thank you for, your ideas and voicing your concerns.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I'm also a new member of Unity. And I was also, I lived in that community of Merrimackport for over 20 years. And hold it here. So for over 20 years I was there. And I have to, when I was reflecting upon the time when it was a very active church, they had a beautiful strawberry shortcake, festivals, and it was a very vibrant community. It was the Lobster Roll Festival also is what they did. And there was always a welcoming church to welcome all. I did not attend. At that point, I was still a devout Catholic, so I did not attend, but it was a very beautiful energy, and I did have the opportunity to walk through the church, and the biggest thing was, how did it feel? I'm hearing a lot of roadblocks, and Amy today even speaking about, like, how do we open and be really open to possibilities, and just through the chatter that I've heard from folks is I'm hearing a lot of resistance or the no's instead of saying, well, what if? Or what are the possibilities? I did not know that there was a parking lot at the end of the street. I actually walked the entire property. It was my running route for many years. So I kind of went there with an open heart and saying, what could be the possibilities? I think also as a new member, I keep on hearing, back in the day with the 300 folks, 300 folks, which I think is fabulous. But right now we're here in 2025, and what we have here as a community, I do see that there will be growth, but how will that growth be, and start problem solving. You can't go backwards to where we were, but it's kind of 2025. Where are we right now, and how are we going to be growing as a community? The things that I do miss, because I did have opportunity in Amesbury, is some of the courses and in the teachings, or even knowing the church was there, that I could go if I needed it, if I needed to go with the meditation, or even seeing some of the special guests and all. So I guess my point being is how open to really take a look, and also have the critical thinking also when there are roadblocks, then what are the possibilities? So, all right, that's my point.
Thank you. Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind is that we're probably not going to find something with everything. We're getting, someone told me we're getting 85% of what we want for half the price, for 50% of the price. That's a pretty good deal. But on the other hand, we're great at creating, we're great at manifesting. So if we want to manifest 100%, we can do that. And that's the decision that we're going to make. That's the discernment that we have to make right now.
I just want to say, we must be ready if this is aligning. If everything is lining up for us and we're in that excitement, I totally trust you guys are looking at everything and you want the highest and best for all of us. And for myself, I totally just have to trust. I have to let go of any fears that may pop up for me, and I have to say, you showed this to us at this time. Right now, we're aligning with it. We're keeping that excitement going, because when we keep that excitement going, we're in the energy of receiving. Anything's possible. So let's see it as so. Highest and best.
I'd like to say something myself as a member, not someone who's in this process. The fear to me is more being in a building where we could be asked to leave I don't think it would happen, but something could happen. And if we did, what would we do tomorrow? We have to always live with that fear. We put a little sign in front of this building every week in the ground, like you would for a yard sale, saying it's Unity on the River. And I ride my bike through here and stuff during the week, and I see that little sign. And, you know, comparing that to having a home, it's apples and oranges. I mean, it's so different. And I've been inside that building now. I did go in there years ago to dinners, but I've been in there like 6, 8 times now. And I have to say from my heart, I've liked it more every single time I've gone in there. Like, it doesn't change. I like it more and more and more every time I've been in there. And that's all I can say. I mean, and I'm overly cautious about things myself, just so you know.
So I just really want to start off by acknowledging the hours and the time and the inspiration and the vision that had Michael step up and step out and find any piece of property for us to take into consideration. So he's brought something to the table for us to take a look at. So this is more of a forum from the feeling of the room. It should be, you know, it's a forum. It's for us to discuss and take a look at things and express our concerns. I do want to just talk for a minute about the fiscal aspect of this, and that is that whatever our vision was normally is based on previous experience and ideally what we would like to see and like to have. Based on the numbers that the board has shared with us in terms of our available assets, my understanding that is around $900,000. Is that correct, Brad?
850,
800, okay, close enough. Yeah. Don't ever correct me in public. And so if those are our physical assets and we're living in 2025, you cannot buy a bad ranch house for $599,000 within 20 miles of here. It's not possible. And that should be a consideration for us going forward, because if it's an opportunity to get somewhere for a few years and then turn around and flip it and move up the ladder, my understanding in our conversations around budget have been that we're having a difficult enough time reaching budget here to pay an extra guitarist. And this, we're talking about purchasing a building with no monthly rent. And I know there are other expenses to be considered, but there'll be additional income from workshops and speakers and events and things like that. And so where we are financially in terms of our potential, you know that churches cannot go to a bank and get a traditional commercial loan. That's really not possible. There are special loans situations that are set up for churches. So we're not in a position to find a double the space with all the amenities we want and be able to fund that or finance it, because all of our assets would disappear. And so anyway, that's a consideration that I just wanted to voice and that I'm looking at. But just again, thank you to the board and every member that puts in time thinking about a potential home for us. And this is just a forum and an opening and a possibility, but we need to consider what those numbers are and what we can do, and the fact that it may be a stepping stone and we may need to upgrade, which will be a very high-class problem. You know, in 4 years, that's only 48 months. If we need to do that, we're sitting on a piece of property that a home could be built on a hill overlooking the river, and I don't see this as being a dangerous or losing situation financially. That's all.
Tom?
I also want to just point out that that from a financial standpoint, if we're in the building owning it, We would also have a function hall to rent out and a worship space upstairs to rent out that we could bring income in from.
And we could also look at maybe solar panels. That'll help reduce the costs. If we own the building, we can do things like that.
I guess what's really bothering me now, or not bothering me, but that I need to say something about is this is an incredible upgrade. So the thinking of, well, how are we doing better than what we have now is absolutely wrong. And if you haven't gone there and seen it, you need to go there and see it. And when they have the open house, go inside, because there is an amazing, beautiful feeling about being there. And then standing in front of it and looking at the river is absolutely gorgeous. And everybody's saying, oh, there's these problems. Really, the only thing we're losing in this situation is this parking problem, which I love that whole idea of thinking positive, thinking possibility. And we'll, there are so many possibilities, and there's so much good beyond the parking that people don't want to think about because they're like, parking, parking, parking. And I'm getting tired of that because there's so much good here to give up. And exactly what you said, we will never find a property for this price in this area. And the value of it, the ability to resell it if we had to. And that's just how I feel. So
I just want to say, like, a lot of what I'm hearing from people is initial gut-based fear response. But if you I walked through the place with everyone the other day, it's got a feeling of, all right, I'll be honest, I was looking for a home run. I wanted to tick off every positive thing that I could see, and I didn't. But what I did see was it's a very comfortable space that we could call home. It felt like home. It's a great little space, the main worship area. It's got enough for all of us, plus some growth. The downstairs would be good for social times. My big concern was parking, but while we were standing there, hardly any cars go by on that road out front. And everyone, I mean, the bottom line is that church has been there since the 1800s, and they've had a church there. And they did have a PA with speakers, so if everyone's thinking that we're louder, maybe we'll be a little bit louder, but they used microphones and speakers, so the neighbors must have been used to that. So I think it just felt good. The overall impression of leaving there was good, I mean, I go back to the point where we left a Masonic temple and went to a mall, a strip mall. And I was like, and I remember looking at Chipley going, are you nuts? like we're moving into a strip mall. And how many of you loved Unity over over there? So I think that here's a place where we could call it home, at least for a little while. And if it's not forever, that's okay. We could turn around and go somewhere better.
Hi, everybody. I'm actually moving away, so it's in a way not really my decision. I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents worth, though. I feel it would be really great for this community to have its own place, mostly so that we can have more social events, that we can get together for classes and things on days other than Sundays. And this place looks within our means. It's something we can afford. It's reasonable to maintain. And so I think it kind of works. But all of you have to decide that you want to work with it. So there you go.
This could very well be twigs in the water. It's saying, like, if there's, as a vessel gets close to the shore, they'll see twigs in the water. So even seeing this might not be the place, but it could be the twigs in the water that says we really do want a space. And I just want to caution people. I mean, I serve on the board at Eastern Region, and we represent all of our churches from, Virginia to up in Maine. what we want to be really careful when we listen, we want to listen to everyone. So maybe you don't think the parking's an issue, but it matters to some of us. So please be respectful of to hear everyone and what everyone's concerns are, because you're here to represent all of us.
One thing I can say is, ever since this has happened now, you know when you go in the market for something, if you want to buy a Volkswagen Bug, you start seeing Volkswagen Bugs driving everywhere. Now I look at churches. That's like my new hobby, I guess. When I drive by, I see a church, and I look to see if there's parking everywhere I go. And I drove through Essex all the way to Good Harbor Beach the other day. There wasn't one church along 133 that had a parking lot. I went over to the the Methodist church this morning. They have a little parking in the back for like 12 cars. They don't have parking. I think the most beautiful church in all of Newburyport, my friend's the minister, on Pleasant Street. You have to pay to park, and they have like 300 worshipers there. You have to pay to park and battle people downtown for parking. And and I said to the minister, is it an issue? He said, of course it's an issue, but they go in the church. They go and people talk about it for a week or two, and then they just do what they have to do. So, we're not talking about people paying for parking or anything like that. It is what it is, and I think what Brian said is, it's been a church since 1876. If we were building a new church there and all these concerns were coming up, I would think differently about it, but, it's an existing church. I think, people want a quaint, beautiful little church in that neighborhood that's active. Are there any other questions, or?
If not, thank you everyone for your thoughts, and keep the conversation going.